So we're like, whoa, like I never seen a light turn off like that. It just like sparked and then turned off. Of course it didn't spark outside the bulb because it was in the bulb that sparked. So yeah, we were like, whoa, that's creepy. Hello you guys. This is going to be my first story time video, as you can see from the title. Also, just keep in mind I have not slept, so I'm like, I mess up everything that I say, and yeah, you'll just see, I'm sure. So basically, as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about my first and only actually Ouija board experience. I love everything paranormal. Like I love like watching videos about stuff, learning about different things like in relation to like ghosts, spirits, and all that crazy mumbo jumbo. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just start out with the story. So basically, I'm gonna give you a little bit of background. So basically my friend, she's experienced like a couple things in her past, and she also has these like senses, I guess you can say, where she gets like headaches around certain things. I don't know, I don't know how to explain that. I feel like she would be able to explain it a lot better than me. Maybe I'll have her come on the channel and maybe talk about stuff, but that's only if she would like to. So yeah, that's just kind of a little background of her. Me, on the other hand, I never really experienced anything paranormal or anything like that, so this is completely new to me. I just always was interested in it. I just never experienced it, so there was the difference there. So yeah, basically my friend, it was her little brother's birthday, so she went to visit her mom's house, which is where her little brother lived, and I went with her. We spent the night over there, and once they like fell asleep and everything, we were still awake, of course, and it's probably about midnight, and we just decided to make a freaking Ouija board. And since she had experiences, it was actually in that house. It wasn't the really bad ones that were in that house, but there were still some that were in that house. The house before that house was like really bad for her, but this one wasn't as bad as her like old experiences. So yeah, so that house was like kind of haunted in the first place. So we were like, okay, let's do it. We've always talked about doing it, so we never did, and then like we finally did something. So we found a little cardboard like thing. It was probably like this big, like jupe, like that big, I guess. Like imagine a little square there, okay? So it's like that big. It wasn't super big, but big enough to like write enough stuff on it, right? So she's more artsy than me, especially when it comes to like word art. I had her do it, so she wrote the letters all out nicely. It wasn't like super nice, but it was just nice enough to like read it, and everything was fitted perfectly onto the board to where it's not like crooked and morphed into each other and all that. So of course we wrote yes, no, A, B through Z, and then we had goodbye at the bottom, and I think that's everything. Yeah. Oh, and the numbers were above goodbye. So it's basically a normal layout of a Ouija board, but we just made it ourselves. So, which is weird because we wouldn't expect something to work on a board that we made, so it was really weird. So basically we made the board, and then we of course needed a little thing to move around, and so we were like looking around to find something, and I saw this little container thing. It's like a cylinder, and you can unscrew each like section, and it's like a pill thing. And I actually still have it here, so this is what I'm talking about. But there's like multiple of them that you stack up and you just unscrew it. So we actually use this to do it, because it's like a perfect clear thing. It's not super small, it's like big enough for like the both of us, and like it worked really well actually. So we used this as our little planchette, right? Sorry, my eye itch is really bad. So we used that as our planchette, and so we dimmed the lights. We just had like a lamp or two on, and then we had like a candle, and so that was our setup. We were on the ground. It was like a wooden floor, and we had it sitting on the ground, and I had a little notebook so that I can like write everything down that like happens and whatnot. So this is where it begins. I had one hand on it. Okay, I had one hand on it. Obviously it wasn't like it's flat, right? And I'm like this, okay? This is how we're holding it. Like, we don't hold it super, super tight like this, but we held it kind of above it in a way. So, I had one hand on. She had both of her hands on. So she was kind of the one in control, if you'll understand what I'm talking about later on. So, we went ahead and was like, we kind of like said something to make sure that like it was nothing negative like coming in to communicate. We just kind of like said a little prayer, I guess you could say. So yeah, we started out by saying that, and then we just did like a little like circle thing just to like warm it up, I guess. I don't know, we like did a little bit of research beforehand, so we weren't like completely blinded by what we were doing. So we just kind of like warmed up the board, I guess you can say. I don't really know what it's called. Basically you like move it around a little bit yourself, and then you stop, and then we were like, is there anybody out there to communicate or whatever? So then it took like a little bit for it to move, but not too long. Not like in the movies where it's like like all over the place. Like, it doesn't work that way. It goes kind of slow, and sometimes you have to like repeat yourself and everything. So it like moves slowly towards, yes, so it was probably like that. And we were like, whoa, like, are you doing that? Like, it's not me, I swear. She's like, it's not me. Like, and we both are not the kind of person like mess around with something like that, because I know like it can be serious if you mess around and like joke around. So we both weren't doing that. I trust her, she trusts me. I know I didn't move anything. So yeah, we were kind of like, whoa, this is actually working. We didn't expect it to work. And so then we just kind of like breathe, like, okay, we're good. But our hands are still on the thing, of course. So then I was like, of course, with my one hand I wrote like, oh, that's what we asked, and it said yes. And so the next question, oh, again, I forgot to mention, she was actually doing the talking while I wrote. Because if we have two people talking at once, it might confuse the person that we're talking to where it won't understand us. So we just had one person talk, which was her. And so yeah, she asked the questions. So next she asked the person, I believe we asked them, are you a boy or a girl? I think that's the next one that we asked. And it went, I don't remember, I think it's spelled M-A-L-E. I'm pretty sure it's spelled M-A-L-E. I'm not sure if it went to only M or M-A-L-E, but basically we knew that it was a male after we asked that question. So I wrote down male. Then she asked, what is your name? Then it went to C-O-P-E, Cope. So we're like, what does that mean? Like, why is his name Cope? Like, that's such a weird name for like a first name. Like, we were just like a little confused. We looked at each other like, huh? But I wrote it down anyways because that's what it said. And then we then asked, I believe it was, how old are you? And so, you know how the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, right? So it went to 2, 3, 4. So we weren't sure if it meant 24 and just went over 3, or if it actually meant 2, 3, 4. So I wrote all three numbers down just in case. So I wrote 2, 3, 4 for how old he was. And the next question we asked, how did you die? Which I heard is actually not a good question to ask the board, so I would not suggest you ask that. I don't know why we asked that question, but I guess she just said it, and it went to A, B, just letters A and B. And we have no idea why. Like, we're like, ab? Like, did you get stabbed in the ab? Like, we literally had no idea what AB meant. And so we were like really confused. But I still wrote it down, of course, anyways, because that's what it said. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I'm missing that we asked the board? I feel like that's everything. Because we were getting kind of like, oof, this is getting intense, you know, like, ugh. So I think we ended it there. But we actually, all we did was slide it to goodbye. That's all we did. We were like, goodbye, okay? Keep that in mind. So 30 minutes pass. She still has this headache. Remember earlier I mentioned how she has this sense basically she was getting that headache throughout this whole thing. So she had that headache even after the board. And then a little bit after, we realized she has her headache still, which made us feel like, oh, it's probably still like with us. And shortly after the light, you know how when like a light bulb gives out, it just cuts off, right? It just doesn't work anymore, right? So basically what happened is that happened, but it like did a little spark first before it like went out. It was like pew, and just shut off. It wasn't the whole light, it was just one of the bulbs, so it wasn't like the whole thing. So we're like, whoa, like I never seen a light turn off like that. It just like sparked and then turned off. Of course it didn't spark outside the bulb because it was in the bulb that sparked. So yeah, we're like, whoa, that's creepy. Like, is he still here? Like, did we not say goodbye properly? So we actually was messaging somebody on Facebook who also have we messaged somebody on Facebook who also has done this and was her friend. And he said, oh, did you say goodbye? And we're like, no, we just slid it to goodbye. So we're like, whoa, we need to put this board back out and do it properly. So we did that, and we said, we no longer want to communicate with you, etc., etc. We now want to say goodbye, so goodbye. And we said it while we did it. And then after that, everything was fine. Her headache slowly went away, and it was totally fine after that. Like, we were totally fine. But then we had the idea to go on the internet and do some research on the information that we had gathered. So, what happened then? So whenever we started researching all the information that we had written down, we were just typing a whole bunch of like random Google searches that had the information that we had. So like maybe, you know, we would put our state, and then we'd put like cope, deaths, 238, like, or 223. Like, we would just put so many random things that like related to our information, and it took us forever, but we did end up finding something, which was crazy. So what we found is, it was like an article thing, or like a record, I guess, and it said ship sailed to my state, and there's a list, A and B, 234 deaths, male deaths of the Cope family. What? So basically, we found the information that we had on the board. And so that kind of like proved to both of us that we weren't messing with each other. Like, we literally found it. But what's crazy is, I was like, wow, I wonder if I can find that article again. I did the same research, blah, blah, blah. I could not find the article. Like, I don't know where it is. I don't know, like, I have like a theory that like Cope, or one of the Cope people, we don't know his first name, obviously. We only know that his last name was Cope. I believe that he helped us find that article in some way. Like, I know it sounds weird, but like, I cannot find it to this day. Like, I don't know how we found it, but we found it. And obviously you can't believe me because I can't show you the article, but it happened. I promise you. I know, I understand if you don't believe me, but that's my story time of my first Ouija board experience. And honestly, I want to do it again. There's a car. I really want to do that again, but I just never have the place to do it because I don't want to do it in my house because I don't want to like spawn some, you know what I mean? So I just don't have anywhere to do it, and I have no idea where to go. But if I do figure out a location, I will definitely try to make it into a video. But who knows, maybe the ghosties are like, oh, she's filming, let's not do anything. And then the cameras would shut off or something, and they'd be like, I don't know. But that's my story time video. Definitely tell me any of your paranormal experiences because I love hearing those stories. So definitely comment below if you had anything weird happen to you, anything. It doesn't have to be like ghostly related. It can just be something really, really strange that happened to you in your life. Definitely let me know in the comments so that I can read it and you can entertain me just as much as I entertained you. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this story time style video, let me know. I'll definitely try to improve on the way I speak in my videos, the way I edit them, etc. But this is how it is right now, so bear with me. So thank you guys for watching. Definitely comment below, like I said, like this video to help me get up there, you know what I mean? And subscribe if you like this content so that you can see more in the future. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye!